Welcome to another delicious episode of The Silly Kitchen. Today I am making some spicy shrimp tacos. There's a million ways to make tacos. There's a million ways, I'm sure, to make shrimp tacos. But here's the way I like to do it. It's a little sweet, a little spicy, and there's a few moving parts. So let's start with the grocery list. You're gonna need a couple of things to make this look and taste really great. So you already know it's shrimp tacos. We need shrimp. I've chosen to buy frozen shrimp already cooked and kind of deveined and peeled just with the tails on. Now I love going shopping for all of my seafood at Cottle's Catch here in Waterloo region. They have amazing product and they're always so lovely and nice when I go shopping there. So shout out to them because that's where I got my shrimp and that's where I always get my shrimp. So you'll need as much, it depends how many tacos you're making. I'm gonna make probably, I don't know, 6 to 8 medium-sized tacos, so I've probably got enough for 2 shrimp for all of them. You're also gonna need some veggies, greens, and some fruit as well. So let's go through that list. I've got a couple leaves of Napa cabbage, red cabbage, lime and lemon. Get yourself a mango, something that's somewhat ripe already because you want it juicy and sweet. We're gonna also have some curly parsley. You can use flat parsley, you can use cilantro. Those are all interchangeable depending on your flavors. It's just a really pretty garnish. We're not really using it to cook. And then to make your shrimp spicy, you want to get yourself either a chipotle kind of seasoning, a chili seasoning, whatever you have in your cabinet is gonna work. It's also dependent on how much of a heat level you want and kind of the variety of spice there. So I actually have like a Southwest type seasoning that I really like. It has different garlic and onion powders in it, some chili pepper, and a couple other spices to bring it all together. Salt and pepper as well for seasoning. And then I'm gonna make also a drizzle to go in a sauce to go on top of the taco. So for that part, you're gonna need some Greek yogurt, honey, salt and pepper, olive oil, and sriracha. All right, so as you can see, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things happening, but I promise you this is worth it and it's actually easy. It's just that there's a lot of great flavors in this that I want you to experience and enjoy. So we're gonna go in a certain order of what I think would be the most favorable for an outcome of getting it plated and eating it right away. So I'm gonna start with the dressing because we can make that and then just let it sit. So all I've done is in a mason jar, I've put 3 big heaping tablespoons of regular Greek yogurt and about a tablespoon of honey. In addition to that, I want to spice this up. So I want to make it sweet and spicy, and my sriracha just exploded a little bit. So sriracha is pretty spicy for those who know. I like spicy, so I'm just gonna squeeze a bit in there. I'm also gonna add a little bit of salt, and I'm also gonna add pepper. You don't have to do too much because there's already lots of flavors in there. It just kind of brings it all together. I'm also gonna add in some olive oil. Now, you can choose any of your extra virgin olive oils as you choose. Today, I'm using a lime infused one to kind of go with the flavors that we have here. You can use plain, you can use something that has even more heat, whatever you choose. And then the other thing to kind of make our dressing and sauce saucier and more liquid is you want to put in and squeeze some lemon juice. So I don't have a squeezer. I just kind of use my knife to make it easier to squeeze out. If there's any seeds in there, you can scoop them out later. This is a lemon that doesn't have a lot of seeds, so I am in luck. And I literally just break apart and squeeze it in because I like using my muscles and I don't like using a lot of tools in the kitchen. So if you have a knife and you have a hand, why not just use that? So give it all a big squeeze, and that is all the ingredients that you need for the sauce. So the reason I like using a mason jar is because it all goes in here and then you just have to shake it, do a little dance, And then as soon as all of your ingredients are mixed together in there, just stick it in the fridge and we can use it for our tacos when they're done. Next thing you want to do in chronological order is get your shrimp ready. So I've just had them thawing out for a little while, but you do want to take the tails off because when we cook them, I want them to go right on the taco. So what I'm going to do is just take these babies off and put them right in the frying pan. Now, if they're still a little bit frozen, that's okay. We're going to cook them all the way through and make sure that they are hot and delicious once we are done. Because these shrimp are already fully cooked, what you're doing is you're simply just heating them up and adding flavor. If you are working with uncooked shrimp, then of course you're gonna have a little bit of a longer cooking time to get them fully cooked and beautifully pink like this. Super easy so far, right? So now you don't need the tails, we don't need the lemon, we're good to go. We've got our frying pan with our shrimp on it. So remember that Chipotle Southwest seasoning, you're gonna put it on to all of your shrimpies here. So just make sure that they all get a little bit of coverage. And again, depending how spicy you like it, you're gonna wanna put a little bit of, a little more or a little less on here. I just make sure that they're all covered in it because I wanna make sure every shrimp bite has some of that on it. You're also gonna want that same olive oil. Just put a little bit of that on the pan as well so that it all blends together perfectly. So far so good, right? Next step is dealing with all these vegetables. So like I mentioned, we have a few vegetables that we're working with to go with our shrimp tacos. Now, our shrimp are ready to go, but I don't want you to put them on the heat yet because we don't have our tacos assembled. And I don't want the shrimp to get overcooked and rubbery. So I'm letting them sit there, soak in some of that seasoning, and then as soon as everything else is ready, that's when we put them on the heat and we have everything ready so that they're good to eat, nice and hot and ready. Okay, so we're gonna leave that aside and we'll deal with that later. So, couple of vegetables that we have. So I mentioned Napa cabbage. So I've just pulled off a few leaves, enough for, 8 or 10 tacos. Napa cabbage is great for different salads, coleslaws. So if you're buying a whole head of cabbage and you don't know what to do with the rest of it, I'll probably have some more recipe ideas for you. Now, it's a long cabbage, so I'm cutting it kind of lengthwise first before I chop it into pieces because I want it kind of like on traditional tacos, how you have the shredded lettuce. So just run it over with your knife longwise, and then you'll have more of the kind of tinier pieces for shredding. So far, everything should be easy. Cutting some veggies, seasoning some things, making a little dressing. So we're gonna set this aside. I probably should have gotten a bigger bowl. I guess my eyes were deceiving with how many leaves of cabbage I got. All right, so we've got that, and we're just gonna set that aside. Next up is our other cabbage. Again, you don't need a ton of this one, so there's lots of other things you can do with cabbage. So I'm just gonna take a little piece like this, which should be sufficient. And again, we want it really thinly sliced, so it's almost like little tiny spaghettis. And you can chop it up into tiny pieces as well. I like them lengthwise. Like this because I kind of like the way that it is aesthetically on the plate, and I mean, we eat with our eyes, so I do like things to look really pretty too. Poof, just like that, we've got our second cabbage all sliced up, and I've got another bowl to put it in so that it's out of our way for the next step. Now, we've still got a couple things to go. We've got the mango. So this is the sweet part of the taco. So peel your mango. We don't want the skin of this because it's very chewy and hard and not edible, in my opinion. I don't think it's edible. If someone knows otherwise, let me know. And now you can cut this two ways. You can kind of cut it into cubes if you want it to kind of look like a little bit of salsa. or you can cut it longwise to kind of match our long red cabbage. It really doesn't matter, I don't think. It's more aesthetics than anything. So whatever you choose. All right, so I'm just gonna keep chopping up these mangoes. I'm gonna actually try a little piece, see how ripe they are. They're really sweet, but they're crunchy and not juicy, so it'll kind of go with the crunchiness of the cabbage. Don't worry guys, I am gonna use the rest of this mango and the rest of the cabbage in other recipes. I just don't wanna you guys to have to watch me chop all of this stuff up. I mean, that would just be a video of me chopping, I feel like. Spicy and sweet are two different things. You put them together and woo, hello, flavor. So, super happy with my mango here. Let's try to get it all in the bowl so it looks pretty. Just as I say that, I lose most of it, and that's okay. All right, so I will clean that up once we kind of put the shrimp over to the heat. Sometimes I lose my words, I apologize. Okay, so I'm gonna roll a little bit of lime. Now the lime juice is for the finale, so realistically, you can cut it when you're done, but I like to do everything ahead of time so that, like I said, when it's ready to eat. So I like to slice it as wedges and then allow people to squeeze the lime juice on top of their taco at the very, very end if they choose to. The other option is if you want, you can just squeeze all that lime juice into the pan once you feel like all of your shrimp are done cooking. So we're just gonna turn the frying pan on, bring these shrimps to a nice hot temperature level. Just make sure that they're hot throughout and all of these seasonings kind of soak into our shrimp, and they will be ready to go within about 3 minutes. You can leave that there, just kind of keep an eye on it, stir it over the next 2-3 minutes, and while that's happening, you have the perfect amount of time to build your tacos. So I'm gonna serve them right on the cutting board, and somehow I counted 5 shells, so hopefully that looks cute and pretty. But while that's happening, oh, this one's not perfectly circular. Hang on, I'm gonna get another one. Because aesthetics, I'm gonna eat that anyway, don't worry, it's not going to waste. I just want it to look pretty for the show. Okay, so while that's cooking, let's go ahead and build our tacos. So we're gonna start with some Napa cabbage on the bottom. So this is kind of like your lettuce. This is a little bit more flavorful and crunchier than basic old lettuce, but I mean, use whatever you want. This is just always a suggestion. So get some of the crunchy parts and some of the leafy parts so that you have a variety. And we're gonna build number 1. So the next thing you're gonna add is your other cabbage. Red cabbage, it's gonna be a little bit sweeter, some more crunch added to, and it's so beautiful with this purple color when you're putting your tacos together. I think I mostly like this part of the taco because of the color that it adds to the plate. Oh, I'm so visual when it comes to food. Yum, yum, yum. And now we're gonna sprinkle on some of this mango. Whoop, whoop, let's put all of that. I like a lot of mango because again, it's gonna be spicy and hot. So I want some of the sweetness from this and the honey in our dressing to come out as well. Okay, so far so good. Now remember those limes we cut up? I'm gonna make them look really pretty and kind of put them on the plate here. So right now that is your beginning layer. We're gonna go ahead and get the shrimp, add them on, sauce them, and eat them. So literally in the time that we built those together, the shrimp are nice and cooked. They've got lots of flavor on them. So this is where we put a couple of shrimp on each taco. I think with the size of these shrimp, 2 per taco looks pretty good because they're small. They're small. Well, I guess they call them medium taco shells. So medium taco shells get 2 medium shrimp. How's that? Oh my gosh, I just want to, I gotta wait for the taco. Okay. All right. 2 more, and look, I've got a little bit of leftover for a few more tacos in case I'm hungry, which I will likely eat all of these and then some more. Okay, so everything's perfect. We don't want to wait too long. Get some of that dressing that we made and drizzle it on top. Ooh, ooh. Now you probably want to put a good tablespoon on each of these because this is your dressing. You don't have any other salsas or sour creams or anything like that on this taco, so this is what's gonna bind everything together. Oh my goodness. Can I take a bite yet? Can I take a bite yet? No, not yet, because we need to finish it and put some of that curly parsley to use. So again, visually appealing, we're gonna add a little bit of this parsley. Just rip it off, sprinkle it on top, whatever looks pretty to you is what you do. Oh my gosh, and it smells so good as you rip it because some of the juices kind of come on your fingers. So everything is ready, it's plated. All you have to do is squeeze a little bit of lime on it and then have a bite. Oh, look at these beauties. I am so pleased with them. I actually do make these on a regular basis, change it up from your traditional beef tacos, add a little different flavor. So at the end of every show, you know what I have to do. Squeeze some lime and let's have a bite. Oh. Classy bites always. Let me get a little more shrimp. If you want to change up your taco, do something different, if you love shrimp and spice, this is definitely a game changer in tacos. Enjoy, I hope you try it, and see you next time.